any idea this was happening, and how'd you find out?
You know, first of all, I mean, I do know that my two daughters wrote a letter to the president, but you never know what was going to happen with that. They wrote the letter as two children that loved their mom and dad and what we had gone under. And I didn't know it was going to happen till this morning. A reporter was asking me to give a comment on the pardon. I had no idea what pardon they were talking about till they sent me the tweet by the president. And I saw that. And look, you know, I want to say to the president of the United States, President Trump, thank you so much. You know, you've gone through some weaponization, and I'll say that. And I've gone through some weaponization. And when you bring in the wife and the family like the Biden administration did, it was wrong. And look, you know, Leland, I haven't talked about the case. The DOJ, they did a speaking indictment, which means that they put all this fallacious, you know, all this language in there. I'm going to be talking about this because there's a lot of things that they did that is wrong, and I think I think House investigators need to investigate the prosecutors that were involved in this case.
Wow, that's saying a lot from a Democrat. Do you believe you were targeted by the Biden DOJ as a political retribution?
Look, you know, absolutely. Look, I had a written legal opinion from a law firm. I had two ethics opinions on this, and the timing of the whole thing was very suspicious. 40 days before, if you remember the primaries, AOC and all those folks that were Justice Democrats were coming after me, 40 days before they did that, it was the timing. And plus, there's a lot of things that we found in the discovery part that I'll be talking about. What they did, the prosecutors, is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. And I haven't been able to talk about a lot of things of the case. But now that the pardon has been signed, we'll be talking about some of these things. And by the way,
you made a point, and I think it is an important one.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the way,
I just want to play this for you. This is President Trump about them going after your wife.
And his wife got indicted, Imelda, and that's sort of a first. Usually they leave the wives alone, right? Don't they, Congressman? Typically they indict somebody, put him in jail for the rest of his life, but the wife can just sit home and cry, or she'll find a new man. You know, a lot of times they find a new man and makes them much happier.
I don't know what to say about your wife finding a new man, but I don't need you to comment on that.
She's very happy with me. But look,
well, I just can't imagine what this did to your marriage.
You know, it was tough on the family. I certainly thank President Trump, and I thank God. We're both very religious, and we prayed, and I prayed for my wife, for my family, my two daughters. It was very unfair what the prosecutors, the power of a federal prosecutor, what they have is very unfair, and what they did in the grand jury, and we saw what they did and what other things they did. And I'll say this. They even did a sting operation that fell on it. They were trying every single thing because not a single witness that they had, and we saw all the testimony, the 302s, not a single witness said that there was quid pro quo. It was pressure. They were trying to pressure us to get this done. And we'll talk a lot more, but not a single witness that they had would talk about quid pro quo.
I want to have you come back and talk about the case. And I think you're making the point of why this pardon was given. You're going to run for re-election. You're going to run as a Democrat, probably in this new district if the new map goes through. But I think there's a different point here. Do you think that Democrats need to be more honest about what was done to Donald Trump that you seem to think was done to you?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, the weaponization can go against a Republican. A weaponization can certainly go against a Democrat. In my case, I looked up how many times I criticized the Biden administration on national TV, not including local TV or local media. over 150 times. And I looked at some of the things, and I tried to work with the Biden administration, but they were not listening. They wanted open borders. They wanted open borders. And the reason they voted for President Trump in South Texas were for two things: high prices and open borders, especially open borders. And I think the Biden administration lost the election for a lot of the Democrats that were running for Congress and Senate.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.